Hello, and welcome to this Phantasy Star 4 series once again. Before we go to that temple that was just annihilated, let's check Mies, because this was the problem that, one of the many problems that we went to the Grubrick Tower to solve. And I imagine that all over the planet, people's NPC text has been changed. But I want to check this place in particular, because it was hit doubly hard. I'll bet they were relieved. It seemed like they were struggling pretty hard. Wow, we took down that tower just in time, as is usually the case for games like this. Yeah, well, we put up with him because he's an amazing party member. That was probably a pun. I give it a 75% chance. I mean, it's a shame that Raja cannot come with us, but I'm not going to complain too hard. Well, let's go find out why there was that whole fire pillar thing. Wow, there's not much left of that place. That looked pretty ugly. And now we get to explore the basement. Okay. Yeah. Whew. You know you're reaching endgame when major landmarks are getting vaporized. Yep. That's just the game's way of telling us, hey, there's more stuff to do. Wait, the what? How do you know that? It seems like this would be an important thing for people to know. I mean, okay, granted we don't want to spread mass panic, but still. Now, most of the time I like the plot. It has a pretty good explanation for why people know the things that they do, but this is just kind of out of nowhere. I don't know, I guess they were kind of under pressure and couldn't come up with anything better at the time. I can't say I blame them. I'm not an amazing writer myself. And also, the Arrow Prism. The Arrow Prism, well, I already mentioned the process for getting into the Air Castle, and I forgot to mention a step. You also need to find the Arrow Prism, which allows you to see the Air Castle so that you can go into it. Yeah, it's a flying invisible castle that... Well, I gotta say, Lashiek knew how to protect himself pretty well. I can't think off the top of my head of many JRPGs where the bad guy has quite an elaborate setup to make sure that it never comes to single combat. Excuse me. And now we pretty much never have to go to Dezolis again. It's the hydrofoil. I guess we got a new ride again. But before we go to Soldier's Temple, like they were all saying, we have some other stuff to do. Now that's a shame. We only have 4 people. It would be nice if Demi joined in. Everyone loves free healing. So what do we have to do? Well, we have more hunter quests. And this is the best time to go and finish all of them. So, these things open up once you finish the Grubrick Tower, I think, because, well, it makes sense, that's when the story sends you back here anyway. And it's very important to do them right away, because the most important one closes off if you advance the story too much. And you do not want to miss this, trust me. That's a bit of a strange quest title, but okay. Well, the thing is, I don't especially need money anymore. But you know what? I'll go with it. I'm all for going through whatever content the game has to offer. And to get to this town, we gotta use that hydrofoil. And that means more of that, hey, isn't technology great music? As the name suggests, the hydrofoil works on water, but it also works on land. And it goes so fast that it's a little bit hard to control, actually. Being a faster, lighter construction, it doesn't have as much raw power as the Ice Digger. For example, End-Sphere is just instant death to everything, and obviously it doesn't have that. On the other hand, this is the only vehicle which actually has some evasive ability. It can escape from battles pretty well and even dodge sometimes. And its Thunder Grid, while not huge in raw power, it does have a lot of uses, and when you're fighting enemies that are on the water, quite a few of them are weak against it. So I can't say I have any complaints about the design. Like this stuff. Thunder Grid. Bye-bye. And of course the experience is paltry. That's okay. Why bother? That's the other... yeah. It's really nice to have a vehicle that can just run away from just about anything. Saves a lot of time. And that's the place we're looking for. Man, we've seen some towns that are in the middle of nowhere, but this one is doubly so. And just as a reminder, the Motavian environmental systems are not doing more damage, but most of them are also not operational, so any of the damage to the soil and other parts of the world are still there. It's going to take some while. It's going to take a while before we can start fixing that. Huh. That's probably a reference to previous games. Also, now that we're on Motavia, I want to mention a mistake I made before about Phantasy Star 1. I forgot that the character you dealt with and who was influenced by Dark Force and in fact had Dark Force in his basement was not a leader of Parma. He was actually the governor of Motavia. So sorry about that. They built a raft to traverse the sea to go shopping. I think we may have hit peak teenager here. And they don't have to tell us which town they went to, because we know which town has the biggest shopping plaza in the world. I have to give those two credit, though, for being able to travel here despite all the biomonsters around. But no one in the market actually tells us anything about the people we're looking for. So that makes things a little bit more complicated. The sales clerks, of course, won't tell us anything either. I mean, I've worked in retail, I probably wouldn't either. Not my business. So we have to look around for somewhere else they might be. They'd probably still be in this town. Well, okay, I've already done this, so I know they're definitely in this town. But there's one building that we have not visited yet. So let's go over there, as soon as I remember where it is. And this is a big town. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And there they are. Let's find out what the story is. Yeah, I don't think there are any credit cards in this setting. Oh, wow. For... They are really serious about their hotel dodging. That's a... Yep. You know what that means. Funny thing, though. Last I checked, bail is not just pay this and we forgive everything. It's more like pay this and we'll let you out of jail until court time, and if you skip it, we're going to drag you in no matter what. I could be a little bit off on the details, but they might not be out of trouble yet. Although, given the situation right now, they might decide it's not worth the bother. I mean, it's $50,000. That's probably well in excess of what they spent, I hope. That doesn't sound like they've learned their lesson. Oh, there's gonna be more trouble like this, I bet. But hey, it looks like the parents indirectly paid for their kids' bail, so I can't say we were just the middlemen, I guess. Things just kind of worked out. Although, as far as hunter jobs go, working for free is not really our style. It's definitely not Alice's style, and I think even Chaz is not really up for that. Oh wow, it was such an easy job and the pay is so high, it's great. Well, kind of. This is a sort of quest that I think would not work in an online game. You just see online that, hey, this quest is a waste of time, don't do it. Because people don't really care for fluff that much. Not that they'd spend their time on a quest like that. At best, they'd watch someone else do it on YouTube and that would be it. You need hunters for that? Uh, we fight monsters. We're not surgeons. Okay, I think there was someone in Phantasy Star 2 who would qualify, but not here. Also, I don't think you'd want his surgery. Yeah, they told us the wrong town to go to get to that place the quickest. But it's no big deal. And you can barely hear the sound that the hydrofoil makes when moving because you can't really move in a straight line for very long. Wow, it doesn't matter how bad things are, people will still talk about fashion. No, what you just described is pretty much the entire world. You got it right. Oh, wow, this time it's not soil problems? What? Wow. There's just this huge variety of problems that are not necessarily related. This is a video game era, alright? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of people being ostracized in general, but at the same time, it is the most understandable thing in these circumstances. That sounds like a hunter problem, but it's not our hunter problem this time. Yeah, crop destruction. A serious problem under any circumstances, but especially on a place as arid as this one. Oh, we got the right place. Hooray! Huh. Can that actually kill a person? Alright, so the plan is to cheer him up with something, I guess. Fortunately, we bought the correct item when we visited Termai many videos ago. In retrospect, maybe keeping that item slot full all that time wasn't the smartest thing to do. No, that's more of a speedrunner's thing now that I think about it. But there it is. It is a sacred toy. Well, I mean, that seemed a little bit odd to me, but I guess I won't complain about it. Lying to kids for profit. What can I say? If the parents approve of it, I won't say anything about it myself. Alright, do we get paid this time? Alright, we came out in net positive for once. I'm not sure that actually saved his life, but anything to get him out of bed, I guess. And as far as I can tell, there was nothing like this in previous Phantasy Stars, by the way. Okay, sure. Except we don't actually have to use the hydrofoil this time, because we've been there already. In the middle of the village, huh? That's the guy who's being, shunned by everyone, I think. So let's find out his story. Oh, there's something I forgot to mention. In Uzo, the guy at the front says, "This is Uzo on the planet Motavia." And that struck me as extremely odd. Oh wow, you actually have a face now. Because, I mean, this is Seattle on the planet Earth. I mean, yes, space travel is technically a thing in this game, but almost no one does it. But, also, head honcho, okay. Exterminatio. Yes, indeed. Much like the vehicle, according to Wherein a bit earlier in this video. I'm not gonna get too angry about spelling quirks like that, though. I do have to say that the later part of the plot, I think they may have been under some time constraints. That is one of the most common things. Also, there's no treasure to be found in this cave. Oh, hello there. Rappies. They first showed up in Phantasy Star 3. I believe they were called that in the Japanese version, but in the US version they were called chirpers. Don't ask me. They were very, very weak. The first enemies you fought in the game, in fact. And I believe there were yellow and blue varieties. These also became the mascot monsters of Phantasy Star Online. Because I guess you have to have one of those in a... I don't know. I haven't played a whole lot of Japanese online games. Do they always have mascot monsters? I hope mascot is what I said earlier, but anyway. Lovely eyes. Okay, sure, whatever. Also, they have a lot more frames of animation in this game than in Phantasy Star 3. Yeah, in Phantasy Star Online 2, there's two varieties. One is a weak monster in the forest area, and the other is a fluffier, rarer version that can appear on any planet and can sometimes drop rare or semi-rare stuff. For actual rare stuff, you need to deal with group content that only appears in certain times of day. So, the random encounters are not a huge deal around here. As for the boss, well, it requires a little bit of a different strategy than usual, because unlike most of the bosses we've been dealing with, this one is actually not weak against Nathu or Rayblade, because it's not a darkness monster. But that's okay, we have plenty of tools for this sort of thing. Also, now that I know, the barrier is probably not necessary. It just uses physical attacks, but they hit reasonably hard. And that's why I felt... Actually, this is the first dungeon in quite a while that I've had to deal with that only allowed me the 4 permanent party members. It's always been Raja or Kyra or, I don't know, someone. And that's why I felt not so great about using Rika's technique points on the way in here, but I mean, if you only have one healer, what you gonna do? Man, they really... it feels like they tried to make this thing cute, but those eyes are creepy. Remember when I said I'd never seen a boss miss before? Well, now we have. And like the usual Hunter Quest bosses, this one gives a whole lot of experience. How'd you get in here? Uh-oh. I have the feeling we're not gonna like this. Say what? I think anger is pretty reasonable for this. He raised these strange birds, got the crops of his town destroyed, and wanted to stop the people in his town from fighting back against the birds that could possibly lead to the starvation of people in the town. Even if you understand him, that doesn't seem like a great reason to forgive him. He's done a lot of harm. And wherever those birds go next, they're probably going to be hunted down by the townspeople because they don't have that guy to protect them. So I'm afraid I have to disagree with the main character in this case. But whatever, we've completed the job. We might as well just collect our pay and move on. As soon as we remember which way we're supposed to go. Oh! That's 2 out of 3 jobs where we didn't get paid. Or at least didn't come out with any more money than we started with. Once again, do not agree with this, but I won't fight too hard about it, I guess. That still leaves one Hunter Quest, and it's gonna be a big one, so we'll tackle that next time. See you then!